What's on Your Mind is sponsored by ACMC 339 Dudley Road, New Star Radio 98.7 FM, Breakthrough Studios, and Reggae Jam.
Good afternoon. How you doing? Welcome to another program in the series of What's on Your Mind. I am Carl. Program is produced by Breakthrough TV. Let me say thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, this is a live stream program. Want to say big shout out to all you guys who tuned into our last program. Massive, massive respect. Also want to say a big shout out to you, Teacher Joseph. Absolutely marvelous. Fantastic. Let me say thank you for tuning into the program. Also want to say big up all of you who tune in to the program. The United States, America, Canada, Jamaica, Birmingham. Let me say big, big thanks you for tuning into our program. As you know, I always look at a few things that happens across the world, you know what I mean, and that sort of thing. But I got a surprise for you guys. My very, very special guest is actually Janity Barrett.
Hello, Carl.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Hello,
listeners.
Let me say, welcome to Breakthrough TV.
Thank you very much.
And you are an author.
I am indeed. I'm a multiple publisher.
You're a multiple publisher?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how you doing?
I'm doing very well. My books are serving the purpose I wrote them for.
Yes.
And I'm also writing for other people as well, as a ghostwriter, a script writer, playwright. Yeah. I also do songs as well, and speeches for people too. So
very talented. And how's it going?
To be honest, it's going better than I actually anticipated. Being a person of neurodiverse, so dyslexic and dyscalculia, so I have my issues. So when someone gives me something to write or to read, I have to put extra effort into it to actually deliver what they expect.
Really?
But I'm a great mimic. And I have a good memory.
That's good. That's good.
So that works for me. Yeah. And it helps me deliver what they expect.
Okay. Marvelous. I saw you in this wonderful play.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I saw you in that wonderful play. How is that wonderful play going? Queenie Dreadlocks and the 3 Years. See, I remembered.
Yeah, Queenie Dreadlocks and the 3 Years, obviously taking a spin on Goldilocks and the 3 Bears.
Yeah.
A Caribbean stroke African pantomime with a very strong method of coming across with unity and togetherness, which is something, my goodness, we all need and we need to strive for.
Yeah.
I'm fed up.
You're fed up?
I'm fed up, Carl. I'm fed up with the procrastination of our people.
Yeah.
You know, we talk the talk a lot.
Yeah.
And when we try to walk the walk,
it don't happen.
It doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen
and
at all.
we tend to blame everybody else besides ourselves. And only we ourselves can make things happen. And one person can make a great difference. Yeah. But a lot of us tend to think that, oh, it's only me and nothing's going to change because of me. Yeah. You know, it's just me, one. Right. But everything starts with one and then builds up and builds up. And
if we can come together.
Exactly.
Exactly. I've preached that many, many times. If you ever see this program,
absolutely.
I talk about it so many, many
all
times.
All the time.
And I mean, quickly, I used to be a volunteer at this particular place. And we have all kind of people coming there. We have doctors, we have lawyers, we have people, normal people in the street, we have school teachers, and they had all the answers. The conversation, the chat and the chat and the chat and the chat.
You see me, I push up my mouth now.
And nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
They can solve everything. Like we solve every problem in that shop. And to take it to the next level,
no,
it never happens. You know what I mean? And it is so disappointing. But we're gonna chat later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let me have a look. As you know, this program, I'll just have a look at a few things that's happening around the world. You know what I mean? So let me have a few things that actually happens around the world. Let's come to London now. The Met Police actually has unarmed this bloody rapist. You know what I mean? Dave Cadrick, yes. He actually raped 12 women. Yes. And he originally denied all these things that he actually done, you know what I mean, which is absolutely disgusting. And they are actually asking women to come forward because he may have done it to other women. But in the first place, he said they consent to all this this sort of thing. And they say he's a Met policeman. And the other thing as well, they say he was such a bully in the force, and those people in the force must have known it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And he still got away with it for such a long, long time. And I said they are actually asking women if they have been attacked by this man or whatever, if you couldn't call him a man, and they should come forward and detective will investigate. So when you see things like that, it's absolutely ridiculous because, I mean, we're not knocking the police, but the police are the supposed people you're supposed to able to trust and call when you want to call them anytime.
And the thing is, how is it that whatever job line we're in when it comes to serving people,
yes,
all right, we are vetted. We are vetted to, we're back to we're coming out of our mother womb.
Yeah.
They want to give us enhanced police check.
Yes.
Yeah? Enhance this and double check and double check. But when it comes to their own, how come their own is sliding over the surface?
Yes.
And it's something that should be repetitive. They should be checked. You know, we have to go on courses yearly.
Yes,
or
years
yearly.
do this or
it's
do
something
that.
that should be checked. No one-time thing when they're in the academy and coming up.
That's right.
But as they grow and transition in rank, they should still be checked.
And I say it's
So it's unbelievable.
And he may not be the only one. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, come on.
He
Come
may
on,
not be the
Carl.
only one. You know what I mean? We may not be the only person that's doing this. You know what I mean? Which is absolutely ridiculous.
Of
You know what
course.
I mean? As I say, it's one of those ones. And as you know, the Met Police has been under such scrutiny for quite some time. You know what I mean? And we're not
Quite rightly so.
We're not here to scrutinize them, but you have to talk the talk, isn't it?
You have to.
You know what
you
I mean?
have to. And if they can be the instigators of so many laws and policies,
Yeah.
then it should also be instigated within themselves
That's right.
to keep clean.
That's right.
Why do we have so many police programs anyway with bent this and bent that? Because it is something that is rife, that is running through like gangrene through them.
Yes, yes.
Right,
yes.
and that's why they make so many programs in that line, because it's so rampant. It's happening all the time.
All the time.
And
all the
how
time.
are we supposed to trust the police
I said that before.
and talk with them?
And talk with them. If you see things.
When yes.
Yes, you know what I mean? It undermines them. And what it also does, you know, the police always say we got a low morale. Well, it allows us to feel a low morale. I don't know if this is right. I'm going to say it anyway. It allows us to feel a low morale towards them.
Of course.
And what I got to say, not all police people are like that. But
No.
when you see things like that, it does allow you to think, well, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
This is how I feel, you know?
Exactly.
Which is,
Exactly.
but at the same time, anything happens to me, I have to call one of them.
Of course.
Because you have to.
Of course. But this you see, when something like this happens and it runs through the core of the community, it highlights the insecurities of people bringing up stereotypical scenarios. When they could say, oh, it doesn't run through the whole of the police, and they want to say you should still be able to trust the police. How come they can give people that look like me a stereotypical image when we're trying to say we're not all like that, the youths are not all like that,
right.
but when they're ready they want to paint
And say we are like that.
you know, pot kettle.
I know. Anyway, let me move on. I need to move on because I don't want to sort of because we have a lot to do.
Well, that's one that you could just carry on.
And carry on and know stuff,
still,
innit? You know, I mean, that is one of those ones. Now, there's been a plane crash. The Nepal plane crash has been, you know what I mean, in Nepal, which is actually terrible. And the pilot didn't report any issues. He didn't have any problem. The weather was fair. There was a slight little bit of wind, you know what I mean? And I say, from what is coming from the sources, the pilot had no problems. But there's still 72 people who's actually died in that crash, you know what I mean? So, and it's one of those ones that they says traveling is still one of the best ways to travel, you know what I mean, when you're going from different countries. But when you see things like that happens, and it's absolutely not very good. What we need to say condolence to all the people that was in that crash, you know what I mean? And hope they, you know, big prayers for the family, you know what I mean? And we say, as I say, big condolence. And it's just one of those ones. And sometimes you just don't know what happens, you know what I mean? And the airline was actually Jetty Airline, and they was actually traveling, you know what I mean, to Nepal, you know what I mean, from Kathmandu, you know what I mean, which was actually one of those ones. So.
Well, apparently, is it one of those ones though, Carl?
No. Let me tell you.
Because there's been a lot
A plane crash.
Of plane crashes within that region.
Yeah, because
yeah. So is it just one of those things according to them? Because something's going on because there's too many.
Yeah, and when you say that, there's funny, a couple of years ago they actually did say there was a lot of the plane that was actually unsafe.
Yeah, their health and safety
issue.
issue.
Health and safety issue with those planes. Yeah.
It's like a lot of the times. I mean, we knock our own health and safety sometimes. We say we're too politically correct and our health and safety is so much bureaucrat and tape and politics and so on and so forth. But when you see things like this and when these things happen, and even when you're in another country and you see people in the construction industry without no hard hat and then I climb up ladder, then I lean over this and lean over that and I walk on things without no safety equipment, no hard shoes, nothing like that. Yeah. And I do things in flip-flops. And still getting on with it. Sometimes you have to say, them on the bicycle, then we 3 or 4, the whole of the family I ride on a moped. I go through, I with shopping and things on them head and this, that, and but that's their way of life.
That is the way of life, and that is
so it's a
sort of culture.
It's a cultural thing.
Yes.
So sometimes we have to think, okay, with the cultural issue and the way they see things and the ways they subject their people to and their community to, right? Sometimes it's a money thing, what they can afford and how they have to sustain their living.
You're right.
So we have to be careful how we say you shouldn't and you're this.
Yeah.
Because we have to see the broader picture
totally.
and how their culture carries themselves and what kind of finance they have.
Yeah, totally agree with you. Totally agree.
We have to be mindful.
Yes, let me go to Los Angeles now. Los Angeles. Now, the cousin of Black Lives Matter founder, Anderson, Mr. Anderson, is the cousin of the co-founder of Patrice. And he was reportedly tasered quite regular by the police. He's dead. You know what I mean? And as I say, he was arrested on the 3rd of January. And as I say, he was tasered and he's actually died now. So we see another death by police in America, another death by taser in America. When it's not, and it's the same thing all the time. A traffic offense. How many of African American are gonna get killed because of a traffic offense?
It's numberless. You know, is that a word? Maybe I've just made it up, but it is numberless.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's too much.
It's too much.
It's too much. It's too painful.
Yeah.
It's repetitive, and we march, we protest.
Still not.
We plead,
and it continues.
And it continues.
Yeah, it continues. It doesn't stop, and it's such painful. You know, I mean, it is such a painful thing.
And then we can say Black Lives Matter and they keep on trying to water it down and says all lives matter. Which is a shame. Every time we want to stand up for ourselves and says we're saying this because of this issue, can you not see it? It's happening again and again and again.
Over and over again.
So we have to stand and say, yeah, Black Lives Matter. We can't water it down and mix it.
We can't water it down. And we even see some of our, of our own sort of trying to water it down.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? All lives matter, but we know exactly what we're saying.
Of course. We're saying something deeper than that. Of course, humanity is one race and we're all entitled to our rights, the right to live, the right to choose, the right to do what we want to do. But when that is subjected to unfair treatment, then we have to stand up and say we are subjected to unfair treatment on every level.
The quickest way I explain this, somebody was asking me, all lives matter, Black Lives Matter, and the quickest way I explain this, I said, if you see an animal there and somebody's kicking and beating and destroying the animal, what are you going to do? You have to get up and go and rescue the animal, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
That's why Black Lives matter. Yeah. Don't forget to share, and subscribe to the program. And leave your comment. Don't forget to leave your comment. You know what I mean? Now, let me come to London. In London, Houston. Now, this is another sad situation. Now, quite a few people in London was at the church on Saturday. And a gunman opened fire on the streets. And they was actually having a memorial for the two people you actually see on my screen, a mother and her daughter. They was actually having a memorial for those two people you see on the screen there. And as I say, a gunman driving on the street and he opened fire. Now, police have actually arrested a 22-year-old gunman. And they're also asking for more witnesses to come forward. And as I say, it's another one where we need to see Black Lives Matter again. You know what I mean? It has to matter. So if you got that information, you need to pass it on, you know what I mean, and see if you can help out there. It's terrible when we see this keep happening on our streets all the time, you know what I mean. This is a church, people going to look after their family, all families meeting up, and a gunman come and open fire. What's that all about? What's that all about? Don't know. No. Let me move on as well. To my next story. Let me carry on. Now, Man City football player found not guilty of rape. He was actually found of 6 counts of not raping anyone. Now, Benjamin Mendy has been suspended since his trial began, when he was actually charged from Man City. And he's been suspended without pay, you know what I mean? So it's one of those ones. And the juror actually takes 67 and 17 minutes deliberation before they actually found him not guilty on those 6 offenses. He's actually faced another 2 counts of rape and attempted rape. And they couldn't find a decision to that. So what they have actually done, he has to go back for retrial in July on that one. So it's just one of those ones again. And I think he actually said he actually learned his lesson, because sometimes when you get involved with different people, they can, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but sometimes what is the best is that he's actually saying he's the sort of life he probably was living. Yeah. You know what I mean?
He's going to draw back from that.
He's going to draw back from the other. He's going to step back and say, well, you know what I mean? I shouldn't be living that sort of life. You know what I mean? Which is one of those things. Yeah. Now, let me go to Jamaica. How you doing, Jamaica? Now, let me go to Jamaica. Now, Jamaica government has actually going forward, and what they're actually doing now, they're actually going to make the penalty stiffer for people. And Priam Honis on Saturday, basically what he actually done is he says capital murder will carry the death sentence or life imprisonment. Yes, that's what he's actually saying. And he said non-capital murder, the penalty would be 48 years to life, meaning a minimum of 45 years. Yeah, so that's what Honis and the force secretary is actually saying there. So the security force secretary is actually saying there. And it's one of those ones, because I don't think he got much of a choice, you know what I mean? So it's one of those ones he actually has to do. The other thing also is going on in Jamaica is that now the Jamaica is trying to push also, just before I get to that story, the Jamaica is also trying to push forward to go to becoming a republic. Now, and for quite some time, the PMP party has actually agreed to sort of say, let's Jamaica go for a republic. However, the PMP now faces some criticism that they're not sort of supporting the bill anymore. They're not supporting it anymore. Allegedly, they're not pushing for it anymore. So it's slowing down the process of going republic, which is one of those ones. What do you think about republics?
Well, every time Jamaica Independence Day comes up, I always think, what do they mean by the independence? Yes. Because when you're independent, that means you're ruling yourself. Yes. You're continuing in your own programs. You're bringing things into the country that you want. Mm-hmm. Okay. And as far as I can see, with all of my lifetime, because I'm born around that time when they became independent, it's still not independent. Yes. So Barbados, well done to you. Yeah. Good luck to you.
And the other thing when I was actually talking about the death penalty, they can't really have a death penalty until they change the law, because it's governed from the UK, isn't it?
Exactly.
So they can't really have a death penalty until, because the Queen of England has to sign it.
Thank you. Or now the King.
The King of England has to sign it.
No, the King.
So that is another thing. So you see where I think it's a bit
a lot of people I've spoken to about the Republic for Jamaica and other countries, and after Barbados became the Republic. And I says, well, it's something similar to what this Brexit thing about has done for us, you know. Yeah. Right? And a lot of us never want to vote for Brexit and stuff. But when you come to think of it, it's only the UK saying they want to be independent away from the European and the bureaucracy of the European, and being rolled by Brussels and paying how much amount of thousands and millions over to that for them giving us the laws, etc. So when we're saying things like that, we have to think about the double standards here, you know.
It's a double standard. It is,
you know,
it is,
still,
you have to think about that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean, because I think actually pulling out of Brexit has affected this country very, very bad. Oh, but nobody won't put up them hand and say yes. No politician won't put up them hand and say yes. it has affected us. No politician will put up their hand and say yes.
Greatly.
You know what I mean? Because, you know, I don't think the man was common sense.
No.
And as you know.
If you think you're able to run yourself.
Yes.
You have to have the structure behind ready.
Exactly.
Premeditated.
Long, and then you just drop it in.
Right? And then when things come to you, you say, well, we've got A, and we've got B, and we've got C, and we've got D, and we've got E, and we've got F. We've got all of these up and running, ready to go. Mm-hmm. Therefore, whatever obstacles you put our way, we've got the structure in order to incorporate our own government and standards without the necessary help from yourselves.
No, we don't need help, no help from necessary. We don't need any emergency help. Exactly. I was going to call it emergency help. We don't need any emergency help from anywhere else. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Let me move on. Now, the University of the West Indies, wow, will celebrate 75 years. Absolutely marvelous. And they're going to have different things in different countries, as you know, the whole Caribbean islands, which is absolutely marvelous. And I say, the University of the West Indies also is in 2021. It was actually scored 1.5 in the world top university, as one of the world top university. And the different campus across the West Indies will be actually celebrating, and they'll be having a whole year long celebration. You know what I mean? Lovely. Good if you could get into that, which will be absolutely marvelous. And I must tell you, I used to, as a young child, I used to drive past when my family took me to town. I used to drive past the Mona camp, you know what I mean? I used to say, why days, the university's over there, you know, because it looks so nice and high and fantastic, you know what I mean? I used to say, my days, that's Mona University over there. So it was actually marvelous to see that, you know. So I still got my those memories. And I think it actually was founded in 1948, you know what I mean, which is actually marvelous.
Poignant year.
Poignant year, yes. Let me move on. Now, as I say, big shout out to University of the West Indies. Now, Usain Bolt.
Oh, Lord.
Usain Bolt's investment has gone missing. Some of his money has gone missing. Missing in US dollars, according to his manager. You know what I mean? And actually, his manager actually speak to the Jamaica Observer and says a lot of his investment has actually gone missing. He's invested in this company and he hasn't drawn any money out since about 2012. And a lot of his money has actually gone missing. So it is one of those ones, you know what I mean, when you run and when you do what you have to do and when you train and do what you have to do, become the world champion, the iconic person that he is, and then suddenly you put your money down to be invested and somebody's gone into it. It's absolutely ridiculous. Isn't this disgusting?
It is disgusting. I mean, the investment that is given to Jamaica.
Yes.
Everything. And not only the investment, but the encouragement,
the inspiration
for others to come forward and say, if he can, I can. And all of the merchandise and everything else. And to think that while he was busy in his trade,
somebody's stealing money.
Behind his back, they start to filter
his investment
and siphon off his money left, right and centre, that it's not unaccountable. Yeah. That's the disgrace.
It is very, very disgraceful. And
why do people think that they can keep robbing from us?
Yeah. And as I say, he must be very, very devastated. And say his managers put in all the different statements. And the sad thing, about that is in his own country.
That's what I mean. He make it worse.
He make it worse in his own country.
He make it worse.
When that happens to you, know what I mean? So you decided, okay, I could invest. Both can invest his money anywhere in the world. Yes.
But he wanted to. And
I could invest it in. I decided I'm gonna invest it in my own country. Because he can invest it wherever he likes. Because he's that's you know what I mean. Just like any of us, we can invest our money anywhere else we want. Even little me and little you. Yes.
Absolutely.
And so he decided he wants to invest it in his own country, and then thief the man money.
But you see, the picture is bigger than that, you know, Carl.
Of course.
Because it make people look and says, how are we supposed to trust?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
When they can't even trust themselves with each other.
It's the bottom line.
And why are people going to back us up when this is we're killing each other? We're not investing with each other. We're not buying from each other's shop.
And when we invest with each other, we still have thief each other money.
It don't look good.
It doesn't look good.
The young people that we're setting the foundation stones for are looking at these patterns
And it's not hurting anybody except we.
Ourselves.
We're not hurting another race of people. All we're doing, we are hurting our arraying race of people.
It hurts so much to think that when we first come over here and we invest with each other because we couldn't get nothing from the banks, and we share room with each other and shift, and family look after family, and we have partner, and we lend out and we share and we share.
Don't even talk about the partner.
We break bread together. We do this together.
We send money back. We send money back a yard as well.
I know we still send
money back a yard.
You know,
and a barrel and I send money back a yard as well.
But now what? Oh, I don't even have words.
No, there's no words. I
don't even have words for it.
Yes.
I don't.
Anyway, guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget as well to leave your comment. Leave your comment down there. Now, let me make it a little bit easier. Now,
yes, please.
Let me ease it up. Let me go for entertainment. Entertainment. Now, Patrice Roberts end 2022 with one of the biggest soca songs worldwide. The song is actually called, what they can call? You don't know this song? I know this one because I play this one a lot.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I play this one a lot.
You better tell me.
The song is called Mind Your Business.
How suitable.
It is one of the biggest, it reached #1, the biggest soca record in 2022. I don't know how much money she's going to bet off that. But it's actually called Mind Your Business. Drink water and mind my business. That's what it's called. I do like drink water.
So like I could make a play out of that.
Yes, drink water and mind your business. So like you could make a play out of that.
I'm sure.
That's fantastic. Patrice Roberts is actually a very, very beautiful lady. I'm not going to look at the screen. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Now, still keeping entertainment. Now, Kabaka Pyramid has been nominated for a Grammy Award in the US. And what he's actually done, he's actually sort of encouraged other musicians and say it should be an inspiration for Jamaican artists to develop positive lyrics. You know what I mean? And come out with more positive lyrics, because as I say, he's been nominated for the best Grammy Award reggae album in America, and that's going to be very soon. All other artists, few other artists has actually been nominated. Is Coffee, also Shonda Paul, known as Sean Paul, and also Kabaka Pyramid, as I say, and Protege. So they're all up for the Grammy Award in the United States. So we'll see how that one goes. It is one, and I think the Kabaka Pyramid come up with the best thing. He says, I hope, you know what I mean, they can use. Jamaican artists can be inspired by good lyrics.
Yeah, for a change.
For a change, you know what I mean? So that's it. Now, you're probably going to like this one. 1 step forward, 2 step backward. Down in Babylon, it's not Max Romeo.
1 step forward,
2 step backward. I think it was Max Romeo, you know.
Down in Babylon.
Now, 1 step forward. We're talking about the Brits Award. Now, the Brits Award say, the Brits Award has always been a little bit of thing over the years, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit of while. They've always got a little thing about them sometime, and sometimes I don't know who is running the Brits Awards. Now, and a lot of the top female women has said they actually been snubbed in the Brits Awards, you know what I mean? The nominee for, the British category in the Best Artist of the Year. So a lot of the women have actually said they haven't got into that category. You've got women in there, and you've got a lot of men who's been nominated in that big category, like Stormzy and a couple of other artists who's been nominated in that category. But the women hasn't been nominated in what we call the top category. And also some R&B artists has also said they haven't been nominated in the R&B section.
Yeah,
they don't see
been highlighted as much.
They don't have highlighted. I mean, artists such as Tiana Major 9, love that. Yeah. I love Tiana Major 9, and all those artists, Mahala, and has come out on Instagram and saying, well, they haven't been nominated. You know what is going on? You know what I mean? And I got to tell you now, it's not the first time the Brits is being under some sort of criticism over the years. Mm-hmm. I can rewind. Let's rewind. I can rewind to a group called Soul to Soul.
Oh, gosh.
When Soul to Soul was making it big
large.
And licking it large, they wasn't recognized until they have to go to the United States. So the Brit has a tendency to be doing this all the time. A couple of years ago, Lady Leisha was also complaining that there wasn't nominated enough people of color in the Brits Awards, if you remember that at the particular time. So they always have a phase of doing the same thing. As I say, what we call it, one step forward, two step backward.
But isn't it ironic, though, Carl, that with music, they tend to find that you have to go to America to try and make it and then return.
Yes.
But when it comes to America recognizing its black actors,
yes,
there's an imbalance.
It is, yes, yes. It is. So, and a lot of black actors from what we call African actors, I should say, from the UK go to America and they make it. You know what I mean?
Strange.
It is strange.
Opposite.
One thing I've always noticed about the UK, where music is concerned, the UK will always promote American artists. From way back, they will always promote American artists coming to the UK. But the own artists here in the UK, they never get promoted. They never get the promotion. I don't know if it's the artist's fault. I don't know if it's the record company's fault.
I don't know whose fault it is. Something has to change.
It always happens like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. They've always promoted from way back. You know what I mean? I know people like from the 70s who's been in music for a long time. And when I talk to them, he says, "Carl, it hasn't changed." I mean, a couple of years ago, I mean, things have changed a little bit now with people like, you know what I mean, some artists who's here now with Storms and all those sort of guys, you know what I mean. I remember at one time, one of the most popular, right up into the 80s, into the 90s, probably one of the most popular artists from the UK was Errol Brown.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Hot Chocolate.
Hot Chocolate, Errol Brown. He was the one that was up there, and everybody wasn't sort of, you know what I mean? He comes out of the 70s, you know what I mean? I mean, he's no longer with us, but you know, it just, and sometimes you think, well, big artists from Birmingham, big R&B artists from Birmingham. How many can you think of? You can't tell me. No, one of the big artists who's actually made it from Birmingham is what's her name? She'll come to me in a minute. Her name has just gone up my head. It's a wonderful lady. What's her name? Her name is not playing in my head. But she's actually a big artist. She did the track with French Montana. What's her name? This is a live program. It's actually gone up my head. But she's actually one of the biggest artists from Birmingham. And
any listeners, drop it in the comments.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Steph London.
Okay.
Steph London is one of this is what I was a live program.
They got a water.
Yeah. Steph London is actually one of the big artists that's actually come out of Birmingham over the many years. There haven't been another big artist like that.
Yeah.
In the last couple of years, that's come out of Birmingham, you know what I mean? It's one of those ones. So, I've done that. I've done entertainment. Now, the other thing I need to talk about, I've reached my little rant. Now, the wonderful lady you see on my screen, Sister Space Boss. Now, Sister Space Boss, yes. I know, you're holding your head. Ngazi Fulani has been cleared by the charity of doing any wrongdoing. Now, Miss Ngazi, as you know, came into focus when she went to meet one of the Queen Aid, Lady Hussey. And she said, "Where you come from?" And she said, "I come from London, you know." "Where you come from?" "I come from Brixton, London." "But where you come from?" "I come from Brixton, London." Right? So, it was a case of the race thing, isn't it? Yes. So that took off. Now, since this story actually surfaced, Miss Ngazi has actually comes under racial abuse from social media. She's had a lot of racial abuse from social media, and henceforth, the charity commissioner actually asked for an investigation. They say she was doing something wrong, so they asked for an investigation. Now, the charity commissioner has actually cleared her now. She wasn't doing anything wrong. Exactly. But the trouble about this hasn't been reported like when she then said she was doing something wrong.
So the mother stick.
Yes, so they haven't reported to say this lady hasn't done anything wrong. You know what I mean? When she hasn't done anything wrong. Sister Space hasn't done anything wrong. As you know, Sister Space is a domestic charity abuse helper for African Caribbean women. You know what I mean? Not just African Caribbean women. Any women can go there to get help, but it mainly deals with African Caribbean women. So the question is, I also see this question in The Voice. The Voice asks, why was there a question to be answered about this lady doing something wrong?
Yeah, it's always the same. It's like, what would make the best news?
Yes.
Report on what would make the loudest noise?
Yes.
And that's what they push.
Yes.
But the rights, the person's right to be righted,
yes,
is undermined.
Yes.
Oh, that's boring.
Yes,
That's boring. That's not going to make much news. So they leave that for people to research it themselves and says, okay.
Yeah. And I said that she was all over the paper. Oh, she must be doing something wrong. Something must be wrong. She must have been doing something wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No
now
smoke without fire.
Now, yeah, exactly. Now she's been clear. Nobody's saying nothing.
Nobody's saying nothing.
It's hardly,
Exactly.
The only paper I've actually come across this is the Voice newspaper.
Voice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got the Voice is supporting her. And I said, it's the only paper I've actually come across that she's actually been totally supported. And as I say, this lady has done it. So the question is, if you're a charity and you're anti-racist, are they going to keep asking this question about you when you stand up?
Exactly.
Because if you're a charity, I suppose you're connected with the charity organization.
Exactly.
So are they going to keep asking you these questions if you're an anti-racist? Or you say, I am an anti-racist activist, such a thing is going on, or if you speak up? Or are they going to keep asking you something, you must be doing something wrong?
Exactly.
That's what it comes down to, isn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It does indeed.
Yeah.
And it's nasty.
It is very, very nasty. Very, very nasty. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the program. Now, this is the fun now. Let me move on to my next story, my next quick little story now. We found gold. I can't help it. You know I'm a big laugher. We found gold. Come, Prime Minister, come. No, we want the money. We find gold. Yes. Apparently, this was happening in Jamaica, Hanover. Now, Jamaica, in Hanover, they was actually building this building. They was actually building a toilet, you know what I mean? And they find this sparkly thing. And the people them say, oh, a gold that, you know, a gold that. But they find this, and so the sparkly thing, they find, a gold. And before the people who's actually the land belongs to or who's hold it down, the news spread all over the place. Yeah. Everybody come to, oh, we find gold in the Havana. Everybody rush to get this gold. Now, the gold is what you call fool's gold. Pyrite, it's called. Talk about gold. It's called pyrite. So it wasn't gold. And but as I said before, you know that even the security people had come in because the news has get out. The security people has come in. Everybody has come in. Even girls from different parts of this. We're gonna look for the gold and we find gold. Now, I gotta tell you guys now. If you find gold, or if you spot gold, and if you don't want to mine gold, let me tell you what to do now. What you don't have to do, a lot of you have to get together. A couple of you have to get together and come together as an organization and then go and mine the gold and keep it to yourself. Because if you find the gold, even though if you keep it quiet, it still don't belong to you. Yeah. Under Jamaican law, the gold belongs to the government. In America, I can go, if I got land, even though I feel land, in America, if I'm living in America and I find an oil mine, right, and it go boop in my land, I could say to them, okay, I find oil. More want the money for it, and then come and give me the money. And if I want to go somewhere else, I can go somewhere else. That's right. But the law in Jamaica is different. So if you don't find gold, you don't have to keep it to yourself, and then you call the people and say, well, so, you know what I mean? Because if you don't do that, you're not gonna get any for it. No, that is the thing. Now, I've always myself, with my little bit of knowledge, believe me, I got some knowledge about metals. I've always myself believed that there's gold in Jamaica. And that's some of them big rock stone on the sea out there. But you're not going to jump out like that. You don't have to be prepared, to take the time, put things together, and get some of those big rock stone out of the lands if they're going to get permission from the landowners. And take it easy, because it takes years sometimes. And you don't have to get the right equipment if you don't want gold. Because gold is not just going to come up and you just say, gold, Mr. Prime Minister, we want the money.
True.
Well, he was one of those ones which was actually, it knocks me out.
Come together and work.
Come together and work together, isn't it? And that's how it is. That's how it is. Don't forget to leave your comments. My sister,
yes,
talk to me. What upon your mind?
Well, with all of those topics there, really, anything that we've gone through, there's an underlining of unfairness going on there. And what is new with us?
Yes.
We are always treated unfair, but the people that treat us unfair the most is we self.
Yes.
you know, and until we can show, so we are fair with each other, and let people look and says, okay, I'm going to give this group of people a chance, because look how hard they're working with each other.
Yes.
We've got to be a reflection of what we want people to see, so that they can invest within us.
Yes.
That's the first initial thing, and then we might start to get somewhere. And like we was talking about earlier, with our parents, and how they came together and made things work under the most harsh of circumstances.
Yes.
And no money or anything. If you don't got no money, but you got watermelon upon your land, and so and so got yam, right? You have a sweet and you have food. You know what I mean? So you exchange. So from the day before the day, we learned how to share, exchange, and make do.
Yes.
That is something that we don't practice now.
No, it's not happening.
Right? It's not a what you need, it's what you want society.
And do you think a lot of us has sort of jump out of that culture? We've jumped out of that culture and trying to sort of embrace another culture.
Yes.
That's what we've done.
Absolutely.
We give up what we had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And jump into another culture.
We've watered down our culture so much that it can't be seen. It's so thin.
Yeah.
Right, and even when you're trying to talk about the history of it, it's like, oh, you're just talking about slavery. That's long gone. Just stop talking about that. Move on. We don't want to hear about your time and everything. But unless you understand where you came from, you don't
know where you're going.
understand how you have to strive to get to where you need to get to, and the uncertainties in life. So we have to be repetitive in saying it, no matter how boring it may seem to other people. But that is our moral stance. That's where that's our grounding, that's our roots.
That's right, that's our roots.
And we need to understand it and appreciate it, and still walk within it in order to grow. We can see it because it's not far removed from us.
That's right.
But to make the youth, to bridge the generation gap and make the youth understand where we're coming from and why we talk in such a way, and why we talk about supporting each other in a certain manner, because we don't want them to lose sight of that.
And even our generation, a lot of us of our generation got it, but also a lot of us in our generation, I don't know where they put it, because we can't. There's very, very few of us that can actually work together. We can't work together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know why. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's because me think you better than you, or you think you better than me, or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know if I don't even want to say that. I don't know if it's the mindset. I don't like to say that word. You know, you know that word I'm going to say. I don't like to say that, and I don't know what it is.
I'm not sure what it is in its entirety. But we are people that watch examples.
Yes.
And we have to think, how many examples of black unity is there for us to say, okay, if they can, if that group can, then we could try.
Yeah.
And we only have to look within families itself. And unfortunately, there's a lot of segregation within families themselves.
Yes.
So if you are looking at the family unit, and the family, the blood family, is not working in union with each other, then how are they going to have the trust to come outside and work in union with
somebody
other people
else
if it can't center within their own household?
Interesting.
So it's very hard for here to get over itself and say, I'm going to step over. And if you do step over, and why could we never come to me? Me, our family. So it's a two-edged sword.
Double-edged sword.
You may want to go and say, when we never worked together with this too good, or I did want to borrow 5,000 just to help me put down the deposit for my car or whatever, and you never want to give me and so on and so forth. And you know, say, me have so much amount of income and I could have paid you back month by month slowly because you don't need it yet. You have a car. Me need a car to get to work. If I have a car to get to work, I can get a better job because I can get to that way. But I'm not going to say, if you lend me, you know, say the better job, giving me so much amount of salary, and me will give you so much. But how me know say you're going to give me? Once you get there, you might think, say, your head too big. And you go. So they already start to put the negative into the positive that you're trying to show them.
And there's no trust there.
There's no trust coming in there. So you go and now borrow 5,000 from somebody else, and then them push up them mouth, say, oh, you never come to me, blah, blah, blah. But you already say you never, but me might have changed my mind. When them see say something work, you have the car, you pay by the person, and you start,
and then they want to change their mind.
You start step up there, so.
Yes, and then they want to change their mind.
And then they want to reach there, so with you.
Yeah.
I said, you could have come to me, you know, if you did explain it better. You explained it perfectly well, but they weren't. They never have it in here to look at the bigger picture and say, I'm going to invest in you, my sister or my auntie or whatever.
Whoever you are, family members.
So that's the breakdown.
That's the breakdown.
That's the breakdown. But other cultures seem to be able to.
Yes. Yes.
And we see, and then when we're ready, we say, you see all them are, you see all them.
We have a lot to say about that,
and
don't
you
we?
see all them get together, and them always stick together. What's wrong with sticking together?
There's nothing wrong with sticking together. The other thing is, it's like, what thing is what some of us, I can't say all of us, we can't sit down and have a conversation with each other and say, this is what we're gonna do.
What we really want to.
Even have, this is what we really want to. You know what I mean? Without, when we ever get out of it?
Yes. Straight away.
When we ever get out of it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's the impatience, Carl.
Thank you.
Right, you can get into a business, right, with other cultures, and not even going in, because we all know what we're talking about,
of course,
and what two cultures mainly we're talking about. When they get together, they anticipate a waiting period of at least 3 years before they see any profits.
That's right. Yes.
Right, and they would work from the crack of dawn to night drop and fall.
Get up and go.
Before cock crow, them they
up there again
and everything.
Yes.
You know, and they're doing it 7 days a week and so on and so on. Where every other shop shut, them still open or restaurant or whatever. Yeah. You know, and they work those 3 years, and everybody put something in the pot to make sure it's a success. And then when the profits start to come, it starts to spread out. Yeah. But they have that waiting period. We know. We open up something. And within the first few months, me want my wage out of it. Me want this out of it. And you start see clothes change, car change, this change, everything change. And you walk like posh post, yes. You know, and everything. And there's no profit in the next thing.
Nothing in the fridge. There's nothing in the fridge.
Up. What happened to such and such shop? What happened to this club? What happened to this restaurant? What happened to this barber? What happened to this? Me was just going there and just the other day.
Yeah, where's it gone?
And it's gone because they didn't the bigger picture. They want to get the money straight away. So you have to struggle first.
Yes.
To get to where you need to go.
That's right.
Nobody can get up the top of the hill with a wheelbarrow wet cement without hard work.
Just like if you're buying a house, you get your mortgage.
Amen.
You gotta fight. You gotta work, and we gotta work, and you gotta work, and you gotta work.
Yeah.
Until you pay off the damn thing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You know, you put down your little deposit if you have it.
Exactly.
Right? And I had 25 years or what? You mean to say you can invest with hope and vigor for 25 years to see that there's something and build upon it, and you have that much hope.
Yes.
Because it's a foundation. But so why you can't say 10 years structural investment into something that can stretch for you, the family, and everybody else?
And if you don't live to get anything out of it, it's there for your family. And it improves your family to be better people, a better person. And they can carry on investing as well.
And better still, when you have that, okay, you put the legwork in there, you might not see the profit the way you want to see it because you might be a bit whole now. Mm-hmm. Right? But the family have it, that it gives a better chance of you being looked after properly when you can't manage.
That's right. Yes.
Oh.
And you should actually get pride or satisfaction that you actually help your own family, the next generation.
And your mind is not worried so
that's
much.
Right.
Where am I going to get house from? Where am I this? Where am I that? Walla.
Totally.
Because you know, say you put something down and then the rainy day money comes.
It is one of them.
It's sad. Oh,
it is so sad.
It's sad.
The other thing I want to draw you on. Why so many of our, I mean, we can probably answer, why so many of our business closed down? Not even business, even somewhere for us to go. The classic example is the Muhammad Ali Center. If you see the Muhammad Ali Center in America, Muhammad Ali come and open that one down there in Hockley.
I was there.
If you see the Muhammad Ali Center.
Remember when Muhammad Ali came and opened up that center? I was one of the dancers.
You was there?
Yeah, I was one of the dancers when he opened up the center. And when it used to be the Albany Hotel in town, we was asked, my dance group, we was asked to perform for him. We had dinner with him. I even sat on his lap and took photographs. Yes. And there's something looked like...
What?
It don't look like any. I mean, what is it? What is it now?
What is it now? Listen, it is a dump. It's rubbish.
It's an eyesore.
If you look at the one in the United States, I drove past one day because there's a Jamaican place around there where you can actually go and get some information that just passed right now. It's a dead end street, and I went there one day, and there was a man, an African Caribbean person or a British African Caribbean person. That's how I describe it. And you know what he was doing? There was a piece of metal gate on the gates. And he must struggle to thief the damn thing.
Oh, gosh.
Because, as you know, metal, steel, you can sell steel.
Wow.
And when you see things like that. But it's like the same thing that happens to a lot of our places that we probably used to.
All along Soro,
all along
Soro
front line, the FCF club.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My father used to play in the XCF club in saxophone long before I come here. All those sort of things. And all the other one, the front line there.
Yeah.
And all of those is gone. No, nothing. What's going on there?
There's none.
And I said this many times. Away from one, if I have a relative now and come to England, right? And I say, I want to go to a nice Caribbean restaurant. Name me one straight away now, popular one straight away. It take you too long now. You see, you're thinking.
Adrian's.
You think, but you have to think, Eddie.
Yeah.
I shouldn't need to think.
It's true.
You know what I mean? It's thinking. It's going around here. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I should say, boop.
And they should be able to name at least 5.
Yes. What's happening there?
Used to.
Yeah.
Like I says, they're staying busy for a bit. They start to filter the money. Okay, come on. You're working hard.
Yeah.
You want a payment for the hard work. But because there's not enough of you in the first place working together, you can't get that time off or anything and somebody else taking the place and taking the lead. So you said, for all the time I've put in there, I want some money. Fair enough. But if you're going to do that, you need to make sure you delegate someone to take the space and do something so that you can have a little bit. And it's still growing.
That's right.
It's still growing.
Yeah.
But if there's only 3 of you, I'm sorry, but the 3 of you have to continue to work hard for the 3 years before you can get some profit. And know that in the first instance, that it's going to be a long-term something. And have that in your mind to say, okay, you know what? We've started this in 2022. It's not until at least 2025 before we're going to start seeing anything. Let's just plan out now how we're going to do this and not think about anything else until that time and live in hope.
Marvelous. My sister, tell me, because I know you write books.
Yes.
And tell us a little about your books and poem and what you do. And tell us a couple of books, because we're running out of time quickly.
Okay, yes. Well, my books are on the usual Amazon website and Waterstones. Yeah. If anyone taps in Janetti Barrett books, they will see my books come up, an autobiographical trilogy. But they'll also see some books that I'm associated with because I've also been associated with 6 anthologies.
Okay.
So I've written chapters in books for other people like Andrea Maynard, you've had on the show before.
I've heard her on the show, yeah.
Dee Bailey, Brenda Dempsey, Sharon Brown. So I've had chapters within those books as well. And most of them that I've published has come under the Marcia M. Publishing House.
Okay.
Everyone knows about Marcia M. Publishing, so that's been good. But as far as that, the writing itself has helped me write scripts for people. I've been one of the writers for the King of Reggae, the Manda Music show that was on tour. It's coming back on tour now. They've got a new writer now doing that while I concentrate on my own shows and my plays and films. So if anybody's thinking about writing, think of what your audience wants to be or where you want to take your writing to, and you never know. You may be asked from your own writing to write for other people, and it can become an income.
What about the play? Tell us a little about the play. We talk about it.
Yeah, the play Queenie Dreadlocks and the 3 Heirs has been repeated twice, and we've been asked again to repeat the pantomime. But my, I wouldn't say company, but my theatre troupe is called Tragedy and Comedy Theatrical Productions, and we do all of the shows that we do has a mindful message going right the way through it, whether it's comedy or tragedy.
I like the one what I see, which was bringing people together, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And you had Children of the Sun there and all
That's
that sort of
right,
thing. I was up
yes.
to that. I find that very, very interesting. I did get my lesson out of that, because, you know what I mean? I'm a musician. I'm a musician, right?
Yeah.
If I listen to a tune and I can't get nothing out of it, it's no use me playing it.
Yeah.
Same with a play. If I come to see a play,
Yeah.
I'm not just here to laugh. I'm like, if the comedy is good, of course I
Yeah.
can laugh, but
But
I
you
have
wanna see the
I have to get something out of it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? If I don't get anything out of it, you know what I mean?
gone.
You know what I mean? It's like when Michael Jackson used to sing, when Michael Jackson was here, and when him go boom with him foot on the ground, you feel it.
You feel it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, thank you.
What about poems? So you say you got any
Yeah,
poems?
I write lots of poems for people and that, and yeah, I'm always writing things, advocacy. I write things in that line, and I did have one. How much time have we got?
We got a couple of minutes
A
left.
couple of minutes. Let's see if I can find it, which goes along the lines what we was actually talking about anyway. This one's called Blood in the Sands.
Okay, Blood in the Sands.
Okay. We came to stand and fight together, with you as brothers in arms. We men, our sisters, mothers and neighbours too, fear-stricken, young, facing the unthinkable, seeing the unmentionable, even when our eyes are closed. What rose from the blood in the sands of our fallen comrades, the daughters, the sons, the mothers and fathers? A poppy, so red and thin like paper, yet strong enough to return each year, no matter the weather. This representation of what went before is too beautiful a symbol to mark the atrocities of war. But at least it comes to represent each and every year. It was decades past before we blacks were recognised for our part in these wars. As usual, we were at the back, noticed last, never fast-tracked, only forgotten, pillaged, used, abused, refused, refused, refused. We wait and anticipate our fate, knowing the world cannot do without us, no matter how frightened they are of us. They need us, so they must involve us, but they keep our race at a subnormal level, just in case. For if we rise up strong with a sense of belong, we are unbreakable, and they know it. So keep your frail poppy symbol to help you remember 1914 and thereafter, because we will never forget our 400 years of massacre, those of us who are awake. That is why we continue to say Black Lives Matter and will not water down our structure. I know you know we are coming. When you are showing the acceptance of our hair, our clothing, our cultural belonging, mixing our music into your advertisements, having one or two of us here and there, you think that makes everything balanced and fair? No, it does not. We still see the blood in the sands riddled through our lands and our artifacts on display in your cabinets. Yes, you are still staring at us in some way, letting us continually pay, making your pockets heavy with money while ours stay light from the plight you plague with us, the plight of our unequal yoke. Yet where would you all have been truly if it wasn't for what you took from my ancestry? If you didn't change the course of what should have been my history, you know that in reality it would have been more like you in poverty.
Marvelous. What is that one called again?
Blood in the Sands.
Marvelous. Sister Janity,
Thank
let
you.
me say thank you.
You're welcome.
It's been fun.
It's been a blast.
It's been a blast.
Let me shake your hand.
Let me hold your hand. Let me do this.
Yes, nice.
Let me say thank you for coming to Breakthrough.
Oh, it's lovely.
It's been wonderful, isn't it?
Very refreshing.
Very refreshing. Tell our audience out there how much you enjoy it.
I've actually really enjoyed it.
And I'm not winding you up to say that.
No. And you know what's been so good?
Yeah.
It's only down the road from where I work
Yeah,
and
so
where I live.
You're welcome again.
So,
Come back again.
I would love to come back
Yes.
again. If you like listening to me and you drop the comments in the thingy bob and you give the thumbs up and you say you like this interview with me and Carl,
Yes.
then just line it up and I'll be back.
Marvelous. Let me say thank you once again, my sister.
Thank you.
And thank you for taking the time up, because I know you're a very busy person.
I am busy, but this is important,
It
because this is a topic that we can talk about anything.
Yes.
And I'm a talker.
Yeah.
And I'm an involver.
That's good.
And I like to stand up for other people. And I write standing up for other people and our own. And I don't water down and I don't ramp.
Marvelous. Great to have you.
Thank you.
Absolutely marvelous. There you have it, guys. Let me say thank you to Janity Barrett Barrett, get her name right. Thank you, my sister. There you have it, guys. Don't forget to leave your comment in the box. Big shout out to all you guys, my whole family. All you guys in Hector, big shout out to you. Miss Dan, how you been? Jade, how you doing? Sean, Colin, Donna, big shout out to you. Rose, big shout out to you. Brenda, good afternoon. Let me say thank you. My time is almost here. Jamaica, Helen, how you doing? Paula, how you doing? June, how you doing? Lydie, how you doing? Carla, how you doing? There's so many of you. Big shout out to the family. Miss McLeod, the McLeod family in Canada. Big shout out to you. Jennifer S. Wallace. Miss G and me. Don't forget to check that book out as well. Miss G and me. Jennifer Wallace. Big shout out to you guys in Canada. Let me say thank you. America, big shout out to you. Birmingham. Big shout out to the UK. Big shout out to you. Let me say thank you for tuning into Breakthrough TV. We'll be back here next week. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget, put a comment in the box. My time is here. Let me say thanks. Our producer, wonderful. He's been good this week. He's been absolutely marvelous. You don't like me to say marvelous, but I can't help it anyway. You take me as you see me. Have a great week. Look after yourself. My time is here. Bye-bye.
On Your Mind is sponsored by ACMC 339.0 New Style Radio 98.7 FM, Breakthrough Studios, and Reggae Jam Jam.
Planning an event? Do it professionally. Please contact Breakthrough Event Management Team and get everything under one roof for both indoor and outdoor occasions, birthday parties, bridal and baby showers, anniversaries, funerals, backyard BBQs and more. We offer a video and photography service, marquees, decoration and a PA system to hire, with popular new style radio DJs spinning old and new school hits. Please contact 07584 197 380 and book all your catering needs with Reggae Jam Jam catering service on 0787 244 3765. And remember, do it good and done.